What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, it is 2026. We have AI cameras, AK smartphones, and mirrorless rigs that can practically see in the dark. Yet if you scroll through Instagram or TikTok right now, you are seeing this camera being used pretty much all of the time. What is this, you may ask? Well, this is the Canon G7X Mark II, and I purchased this camera, this little point and shoot compact camera, for about $650 at the time. This camera came out practically a decade ago. Is it actually still good in 2026? Or are we obsessed with that nostalgic look that this camera can kind of give off? Let's talk about it. Look, we have to be honest. If you're coming from a modern smartphone or a 8K, 6K, 4K camera, then using this thing is going to feel a little outdated. Compared to a mirrorless camera, this does not have that good of autofocus because it was running on a different autofocus system back in the day, and it's gonna focus hunt a little bit, but it will actually get your focus once you have it, and you still get that nice blurry background that you can get with like a mirrorless camera with a 2.8 lens. Like the Canon R50, that thing is pretty up to spec, and well, this thing is outdated.
Chocolate! I can't hear you!
Another thing about this camera is that it only shoots up to 1080p. Is that a deal breaker? But here's the secret. You're probably watching this on your phone and watching it in 1080p. Why? Because it's easier for playback because the files are so much smaller. When you have 4K footage, that takes up a lot of space, and it takes a lot to download. But the thing about video and video editing is that you can upscale your footage from 1080p to a 4K file when you export your edited video.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
But the thing about our technology these days, whether you use Premiere Pro, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, any of those, you can upscale your footage from 1080p to a 4K output. Now, it's not necessarily true 4K, but it adds these tiny little pixels into your image that give it a little bit more of a boost, a little bit more of a crispiness to it, so that way your image quality isn't necessarily lackluster and isn't necessarily 1080p anymore. It kind of has some qualities of a 4K camera. So why is everyone still buying this? I'd say the look. With the iPhone, you kind of get this computational look where it's almost too perfect most of the time. And you're kind of limited on the way that the in-body camera of this device doesn't give you any room to really operate it manually. Unlike your iPhone, giving you a clinical, very scientific, precise, crisp look, this shoots at 23.98 frames per second, which is the cinematic gold standard. So you can get that nice blurry background, and you get to manually dial in your settings up on top. Rather, when you have this guy here, this one is pretty much just set in stone. So you're not going to be able to manipulate footage the way that you want versus the way that you want. Because when they created this camera, they added a in-body ND filter. So that means it has built-in sunglasses for your lens. So when you're shooting manual, which is what you want to be shooting then to get that cinematic look, you can turn on the ND filter, and that allows you to control the exposure and the light when you're filming. Whereas when you shoot with a phone, everything's computational. Everything is basically automatic. And if you want a certain specific look, you want to go with something that is able to manually change shutter speed, ISO, frame rate, and so on. You see, influencers use this every single day that I see on my feed. I get it. It's small, it can fit in your pocket. The skin tones make you look like a human instead of a robot, like this guy here.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
But is this the most advanced camera of 2026? No. But is it great for capturing a vibe? Heck yeah. So, follow along, check out some of the footage that I take, see what you like, see what you don't like, and we'll get back to the office in just a little bit. But for now, let's go test this thing out. Now we are on the Canon G7X Mark II. Just gonna shoot handheld for most of this video. As you can tell that I have the autofocus on, and if I tap the background, it should focus onto the background. So they lose focus there, when I put it back on me. Now the thing about vlogging with this camera is, or with any camera that has a flip up screen or flip out screen, is that you don't want to really look at yourself on the viewfinder or on the screen, because when you talk to the lens it looks like this, but when you talk to the screen and not the lens, it looks like this. So it looks like I'm not really talking to you, but when I direct my eyes to the lens, that is how people vlog. Now, it's a little hard to get used to just because you want to make sure that you're in focus, but you kind of use your peripherals and make sure that you're somewhere in the box of your screen and you're not off center out of your frame. Alright, so I'm back in my car. I just want to also explain to you what I'm shooting in, which is the cinematic mode, which is the 23.98 frames per second. My shutter speed is 1/50th. That is double the frame rate, or close to double the frame rate. My ISO right now is 640 because it's still ambient light that's coming through these windows. It's good enough. It's well exposed, which is nice. Obviously you can't really see outside because the camera is set to the exposure perfect for the inside of the car and not outside. That is that. It might rain a little bit. I haven't gone outside yet other than to sit in this car. Hopefully we can get out and film some stuff and take some photos. So I was supposed to go out that evening and film a little bit and take some photos, but it rained and now I have tacos. You have tacos. So then the next day it was pretty nice, and this is kind of during sunset, having the focus on the leaf and having a nice blur in the background. Here's what the camera looks like shooting in slow motion, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Well, I had to film more content, and what better way to film content is with someone that you can use as a subject. So I have my friend Matt with me today.
Tell me you're just passing by, drowning in your reasons why.
So the one thing that I'm noticing when I'm using this camera that totally didn't realize until actually now using this thing is that I'm trying to take photos and videos, so I'm flipping back and forth. But the cool thing is that it has a small little dial, and all you have to do is just switch from photo to video. Now with the new cameras that are out there now, you're taking like a good 3.5 seconds for your camera to switch over every time you hit that little switch. Even though you have a little switch to do it on most new cameras, it still takes a good like 3 seconds to switch over, and you could lose your shot. But with this thing, and yes, it's a dial, all you have to do, switch it, and it's ready to go for photo or video. Crazy.
And then this is that huge hill that used to be a garbage dump that you see going down, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just going to do like this walk to 75th probably and like come back. Unless you feel like doing all that.
That you're doing fine. Morning color lights the hall.
I'm using this compact camera. It has a fixed lens on it, so you can't take the lens on and off. I just noticed that you also have a fixed lens. Or is it a fixed lens? Oh, it's not a fixed lens. It looks like a fixed lens. It's a compact camera, small. This is what?
Olympus.
Olympus. You've had this camera for how long?
Probably almost 10 years.
10 years.
About the same as yours.
Yes, so
2016, 2017, something like that.
yeah, somewhere around there.
All in one with the tilt screen, common of the G7X as well.
Mm-hmm.
Great feature for shooting however you want to shoot, being able to adapt on the fly.
And I've heard that the point and shoot cameras, or the compact cameras, are actually becoming popular again, which is pretty cool, which means that history repeats itself.
Here we go again.
As we all know.
14 by,
You could put that in your
14
pocket.
by 42. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's like the most common used one.
It's crazy.
Till it's gone. Still I love her. It's getting late.
Right here with the pillars.
Isn't that cool?
This white house on the left here is the drummer with the TCU college deals right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's the drummer.
Nice.
And then he's the
Keep on sewing. Clothes on. Talk for hours. Moon and rain. Just like the sun leaves to come back again.
All right, Matt. Thanks for hanging out.
Of course.
Got some awesome photos, some videos, and you'll see all that video footage in this vlog. Peace out. If you find one for a good price, buy it. Because I still have mine, and I gotta say, it's a whole new way of looking at this thing after a decade. Now, these are pretty expensive nowadays, especially with tariffs and the inflation rate. So I've seen these things go for upwards of $1,000. That is nearly $500+ more than I bought it for back in the day. What's great about it is that it has a flip-up screen, and you can see yourself when you record. That's one of the main reasons why I got one of these in the first place. It was affordable, compact, and has a flip-up screen, and shoots in 23.98, which is the, once again, cinematic gold standard. So I almost forgot to mention that this camera also has a built-in flash, so that is one of the other selling points about this camera, because I think this is why the Canon G7X is being used a lot, for the flash, for this like nostalgic look that it can give off. I think that is honestly one of the top selling points of this camera, is just for that nostalgic look. Alright you guys, so that's going to end today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, questions, or concerns furthermore about the Canon G7X Mark II, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to answer those questions for you. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, because there's going to be more content just like this coming your way. I'm going to peace out for now. Thanks for watching. It's been real. Keep it real. You know what it is. Deuces.